everyone, Sherry Canino here, and welcome to this week's Stencil Crush Tuesday. I'm starting out with a couple of my golden paints, the quinacridone magenta and the ultramarine violet, and I'm just getting some color down on my sheet of 9x12 mixed media paper. I spritz with a little water just to make things blend a little bit more. Now I'm using my first stencil crush of the week called Optical Large stencil, and it's a wonderful circle stencil, definitely one of those must-haves. I'm staying with the same colors that I've been using and just layering. So this is the ultramarine violet. Now I have my second stencil crush of the day called Circles Layer Me. And I'm using the quinacridone magenta, and again just doing more layers. I use the smaller circles, and I use a paint called Bright Aqua Green, and I forgot to show you guys that. It's a Liquitex heavy body paint. For my third stencil crush of the day, it's called Grenada, and I'm using the neutral gray. It's an N7 neutral gray by Golden, and again just adding more layers. Now I'm going to add some layers with some stamps. So the first one is called Punchin Ella. I'm just using a black archival ink. I also use this very cool script stamp by Carabelle Studio to add another layer of stamping in the background. I use the Circles Layer Me stencil again with my finger and some off-white paint by Blick Arts to add again another layer. At this point I feel like it's getting a little too busy, so I use some titanium white acrylic paint with my paintbrush to try to tone it down. I then actually wipe some off with a baby wipe, and then I use the titanium white again with my paintbrush to just add some lines, some texture in the background. Again, another layer. I water down some of the quinacridone magenta and do some drips on my page. I use the Grenada stencil again with the Bright Aqua Green to add yet another layer. I use some of the quinacridone magenta to give my page an edge. At this point I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know where it's headed, so that's kind of why I did the edging already. I go back in with the circle stencil and add again another layer with some of the circles using the neutral gray. I decided I'm going to use this new stamp set called Mindfulness as my focal point for my page, and I'm just going to stamp it with some black archival ink. I also use the same stamp set and stamp Be Mindful just above my girl. Now I'm coloring her in. I'm just using like a turquoise Prismacolor pencil and a blue marker to color her outfit in. I continue coloring her in using some of my paint pens, some of my markers. I have some Sharpie, pink Sharpie marker that actually was turning out more white on the page, which was fine. I did her necklace in that and the little beads on her head, and just, you know, just trying to make her pop off the page a little bit more. I did end up afterwards going back in with a black Prisma color pencil and kind of outlining her because she definitely was getting lost in the background. I use a white acrylic paint marker to kind of highlight and just, I'm trying to get her to stand out. Again, like it's kind of busy around her, so I'm doing different things to try to get her to stand out. I finally end up using my white paint marker and doing dots around her, and that I really loved. It really, I felt like, drew your eye to her on the page. Add a few dots to my page in the corners and a few flicks of some of the watered down bright aqua green. Off camera, I decided to actually add some more dots with a dark purple and a turquoise paint pen. I also decided that some of the circles that I did last on the page, the gray ones with the Circle Me stencil, needed, I don't know, they just needed something. So I took my charcoal pencil and just drew around them, and our page is complete. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me this week and every week. For all your love and comments, you know they mean so much to me. And thanks for your patience on this week's Stencil Crush Tuesday being on Wednesday. You guys are amazing. Love you. See you next week.